Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. You are watching us on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. This is our 5-day, 5-hour online training program under the umbrella theme of Open Educational Resources OER, Innovating Education. And today we are in day 2 of the training session. Let me tell you that this session is brought to you by CIET-NCERT in collaboration with CIEMCA, that is Commonwealth Educational Media Centre for Asia. And as I mentioned, today we are in day 2 of the training session where the topic that we have taken up is Licenses, Emerging Technologies and OER. Of course, we understood what exactly OER is all about, how it evolved over the years, about its history, its significance, its presence in the scriptures, and of course a bit of future trends also. And today we will be talking about emerging technologies in detail, because when we talk about open educational resources, we know that in today's time, AI is also playing a big role. So how it is impacting OER and what kind of future trends we're going to witness. So this all will be talked at length in today's session. If you wish to participate in the session, please feel free to do that. You can always give us a call, write a message or send us an email. Our phone number is 8800440559. We also have a dedicated email ID for you, that is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. And since we are streaming live on our YouTube handle NCERT Official, you can always go to the live chat box or the comment section, put in your questions, your suggestions there, and get in touch with us instantly. Since it's a training program, there is going to be an assessment as well on the last day of the training session, that's day 5. So what you can do, you can log on to CIET's website where assessment courses will be released soon, and I request you to kindly go through the guidelines and all the instructions before you attempt the assessment. If you score more than 70%, you will be granted a certificate that you can download from DIKSHA portal. And now it's time for me to introduce you all to my guests for this session. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Gaurav Singh. Sir is Professor from Media Production Division, CIET-NCERT, New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Now let me tell everybody that we are going to talk in length about today's topic, which is licenses, emerging technologies and OER. So whatever questions we will be receiving from our viewers, we will take them up in the end. Now sir, before you go ahead with your presentation, I request you to kindly share with us a brief overview of what exactly you'll be talking about in today's session.
Thank you, Harpreet. Many teachers, teacher educators and the students, they are very much well aware that what OERs are, and I think in the yesterday's session it has been discussed a lot about the history and development of open educational resources and how world is looking at the importance of open educational resources. But generally when we talk about open educational resources, these resources are the resources which are being created by the human being. But as we all know that now technology is advancing in a different pace and in a different direction. With the emergence of generative AI, now a lot of content, whether these are images or these are videos or these are texts, which are being developed by the machine based on the prompts given by an individual. So now the question is that when someone is creating a content, he or she is very much responsible for its authenticity, for its accuracy. We have the rules and regulations of the copyright, we have the liberty licenses like the open educational resource licenses, Creative Commons licenses, about which I will talk today. But the content which is being generated by the AI, under what kind of accuracy, authenticity it should be kept? Can we provide license to it or not? If we can provide, what kind of license? If we are providing license, then what precautions we should have? So the challenges which are being posed by the emerging technologies to the traditional education system, I think today's session will focus on that.
Right, sir. We're looking forward to the session. And now I request you to kindly go ahead with your presentation, and then we will take up questions at the end, sir.
Thank you, Harpreet. So before talking about OER, because we have already discussed about the OER at length yesterday, so let me start with the understanding AI for content creation. Many people think that AI means artificial intelligence, so there is something artificiality and there is something a machine generated intelligence. But if someone will ask me that what is my take, I always used to say that there is nothing artificial in it and there is nothing intelligent in it. Why I am saying this? Because the whole generative AI is based on some complex technologies where the machine learning and large learning models, LLMs, are being used to analyze and produce the content. So, how they work? They work on how these models are being trained. So, who trained these models? Human being trained these models. We provide the content to the AI chatbots, to the LLM models. We, the human being, provide them the content, we train them, we expose them to different sources. When they accumulate everything within them, then the machine learning and the algorithm of LLM is being used to find what is useful for us. Okay. So, if we are training something to a machine, then whether that machine is artificial? No, the knowledge is not artificial. Knowledge is always being created by the human being. So, in my take, it is human created, not artificial as such. Then intelligence. Intelligence is not something that we identify some important things and we are just putting it. Intelligence includes human consciousness, intelligence includes creativity, intelligence includes understanding, and machine is not having, the machine is neither having consciousness, machine is not having creativity, machine is not understanding. It works based on the prompts and the text or the content provided by them to training these models. So, how it is intelligent? It is less intelligent than human being. You know, many times people have a fear about artificial intelligence. Many times people think that if AI will come, AI will take over teacher, AI will take over whole education process. I used to say that, you know, whether it is technology, whether it is AI, whether it is any emerging technology, in coming times we will talk about semantic waves and all. No technology can ever overpower a teacher. It is the teacher who will decide that how technology should be used, how much technology should be used, and why technology and where technology should be used. So, a good teacher will remain a good teacher if he is the master of technology. But if someone will surrender himself or herself in front of the technology, then they will lose their relevance. It is nature of law and natural justice, right? So, that is the first thing. Now, when we talk about, you know, how AI is going to affect this whole open educational resource nexus, I take it as an opportunity, though there are certain challenges. With the help of AI, now the speed of content creation had increased. Earlier the content creation was a time taking process. So, what AI has done, because AI is already having a lot of content available, access to the machine, access to the algorithms. So, the content generation and content creation has become less hectic and it takes less time. Second thing, earlier when we were creating content, we were creating the similar kind of content to the whole lot. For example, if a teacher was teaching in a classroom, he was teaching the same content with same pace, with same speed in a similar language to all the 40, 50 students or 30 students sitting in the classroom, though their learning styles were different, their learning pace were different, their level of understandings were different, right. So, now with the help of AI, we can create personalized learning material. Now, the learning material could be created with the help of machine learning based on the intelligence level, language capacities, understanding level of each and every individual. So, the personalized and adaptive learning is going to be very much affected by the AI generated content. The third thing is that with the help of AI and the other technologies, now the accessibility has enhanced. People have more reach due to the technological advancement. Earlier in the traditional classrooms, the accessibility of the content was limited either to the teacher if he or she is very much knowledgeable, or up to some extent to the libraries where some good books have been kept and a student can take. Now, with the AI, with the artificial intelligence applications, with the ChatGPT and other applications, now a learner has access, quick access to the better quality content in a very less time. But the why I called it nexus and why it is challengeable, because whatever content was delivered into the classroom or the content was created by the teachers traditionally as e-content, the teacher was the owner of the content. Or if teacher was taking something from somewhere, he or she was referring to it, so we know that who is the owner of the content or what is the actual source of the content. In AI, this copyright ownership has become a complex issue, because we don't know that the LLM model which we are using is taking the content from where. So to whom we attribute? Now the question is that if we are creating some content as open educational resource with the help of AI, to whom we should attribute? Do we attribute to the creator? Do we attribute to the LLM model? Do we attribute to that AI tool or AI application? To whom we should attribute for that content? That is the second challenge. The third challenge is, because in the traditional teaching learning, whenever a teacher or a learner was searching for some content, that content was based on certain authentic sources. So the accuracy was not the issue. In the language learning models, many times whatever content is being created, there is no one to take the ownership of that content. So we are not aware that whether that content is accurate or biased. If we go through the UNESCO guidelines for AI generated content, there are a lot of issues which have been highlighted where AI models have generated the biased content. Sometime the gender bias was there, sometime the color bias was there, multiple biases were there. So that was an issue. This brings another challenge, that is the issue of transparency. Because we don't know what is the source of the content, we hesitate to reproduce it, we hesitate to claim it, we hesitate to attribute it. So something grey area remains, there is no black and white. So that is again a biggest challenge which AI is these days facing. The third challenge which I used to say is the copyright and attribution dilemma. Whenever a content is being created by AI, it is a common understanding that most of the time this content is being created by the machine, not by the human. So if it is a purely AI generated content, across the world in many countries the copyright offices deny to provide the copyright to machine generated content, because they can provide the copyright to an individual, to a publisher, but how they can provide the copyright to a machine? This is the first dilemma with which a lot of copyright and attribution agencies are struggling with, and a lot of legal cases are also there.
Okay.
Then the second concern is ownership. Who will own the content? Who is the owner? Whether the user who is using the AI model is the owner of that content, or the developer who has developed the model, developed the content, or no one. Many times the content which we generate from AI has no owner. So the ownership uncertainty is there with that content. These are the challenges which OER people are basically facing when we are trying to put the license. So that is why I am taking these issues initially. The third one is attribution. Generally when we give any OER license, whether it is CC BY, CC BY SA or CC BY NC or ND, the license is generated by the creator of the content. Here there is no creator of the content. So who will generate? Who is the author here? That is again a concern and a problem which AI is facing. Because if we navigate through the existing licensing framework, how Creative Commons license works in the area of AI, you can see that there are one thing, CC licenses. There are at least 6 type of licenses, CC BY, CC BY, SA and all. I will talk about all these licenses in the later part of my presentation. Then there is a issue of applicability, that if human input is significant in creating any content, the CC license can be provided. Now how the author has permitted the user, because there is a confusion. many people think that if it is OER content or it is a CC license content, it is not having copyright. No, it is not the case. Every created content is a copyrighted content. The only thing is that if a copyright holder or the creator has put a CC license, so it has given the permission to the user to use that content without every time coming to the author and taking the permission. So it is the liberty which is being decided by the content creator or the copyright holder to use a particular content. That degree of liberty changes from license to license when we use open educational resources. Then they are interpreted, because every license has a meaningful interpretation. Why it is having a meaningful interpretation? Because licenses as well as content both are human generated. But is this the case of AI? No, it is not. So how we can move ahead? Now some people are talking about a licensing framework for AI generated OER. Though it is still not standardized, but a lot of discussion is going through. And if we go through this framework of AI generated OER, they are first talking that there should be a clear disclosure by the user or the creator that this content is a AI creation. Then also ensure that which license we are going to give, because no one is owner of this content, because there is no one is claiming its copyright on the content. So mostly people suggest that either we should go with CC BY license, where a creator can use the content created through AI in any way, just giving the attribution, or some who are more liberal, they are saying that whatever content we are generating from AI, we should give CC 0 license. So most of the people who talk about the Creative Commons licenses and OERs to the AI generated content, they generally talk that the AI generated content should be provided either with CC 0 license or with CC BY license, not by the other licenses, because all other licenses are the controlling things, and you cannot control something which is not being created by a human being, right? Also the framework talks about that if something has been created by using AI, you may create an image by using Dell AI, or you can create a text by using Gemini or ChatGPT or other platforms, right? So you need to give proper attribution that this content has been generated by AI from this platform.
Okay.
Even in the education and psychology, generally when we give citation, we follow the APA style, American Psychological Association style. So APA latest guide has also given its rules and regulations and the styles through which the AI generated content can be cited. It is already there. Now come to the OER, because we have already talked a lot about OER yesterday, so I will be very quick, because it will be just a recap so that we can connect the AI generated content and the OER licensing. We all know that OER term was introduced in a UNESCO forum in 2002, and before than that it was being used as open courseware. And what is an OER? So an OER can be anything. We all know that it could be a curriculum map, it could be a course material, it could be a textbook, it could be a video, it could be an audio, a multimedia application, a podcast, an image, an animation, anything which is being used or designed for teaching learning purpose and openly available for use to the educators and students without any royalty or license fee. So generally we consider OER where we need not to pay anything to anyone and we are allowed to use that. But when we integrate the AI generated content with the OER, so what is the future now? The traditional OERs have to move towards the AI integrated OERs, where the focus will be the accessibility, the focus will be the inclusivity, the focus will be the expansion to the new areas, interdisciplinary areas. The government and institutional support is very much required. At present the problem is that hardly any institution, hardly any country has come out with its rules, regulations or ordinances to regulate or to guide the OER or any AI generated content. We all know that millions in the country are generating AI content, whether they are photographers, whether they are image creators, whether they are video makers, whether they are text writers, whether they are textbook writers or the researchers, they all are creating AI generated content. But everyone having a fear, everyone is having a dilemma, everyone is having a confusion. Why? Because there is no regulation to regulate the AI generated content. So in future, the intergovernmental organizations, whether it is Commonwealth of Learning, whether it is CEMCA, whether it is UNESCO, they need to come out with the regulation. The organizations need to come out with the regulations. The university grants commissions or the governments or the government agencies, they should come out with the regulations, because you cannot control that, okay, no AI generated content will be used. It means you are denying the accessibility to an excellent technology to the user, and user is not going to stop using it. If today you will say that, okay, from tomorrow onwards no AI tool will be used across the country, it is not going to happen. It is just like that 20-30 years back when computers came, and a generation of mine or older than me, they were in the school. So many times we have written an essay in the examination, computer is a curse or boon. But in last 30 years, the computer or the computing devices have become the part and parcel of our life.
Yes.
So the technology always face the test of time, technology always face the test of the society. Society governs it, society regulates it, society identifies its do's and don'ts, but technology never fades until or unless its usability is fading. Right? So the future is there. Now if the future is there, so we can say that OERs, if today we will say that, okay, whatever OER will be developed, they will be developed without using any AI application tool. I think it is now next to impossible, because now everyone is having the access to the AI tools, everyone is having access to the internet. So if OER is being created, we should know that how this OER is different from the copyrighted content. So what differentiated an OER from the copyrighted content? That is its license. So in this part of my discussion now, let me focus towards the licenses of OER, and then I will say that how we can generate the license. Okay. So if we think that what a license is, an open educational license, generally Creative Commons license we use, though Creative Commons license are not the only license which are being used for OERs, but they are the most common, and across the world most of the people use Creative Commons license, though there are other licenses also. So the Creative Commons license, if it is being placed with a content, it allow any educational resource to be used, to be reused for the adaptation without the permission or without requesting for the permission of the copyright holder. So if you see all kind of licenses, they are the permutation and combination of 4 common symbols. The first symbol is attribution, BY. The second symbol is share alike, SA. The third symbol is non-commercial, NC. And the fourth symbol is no derivative work, ND. Let us first discuss that how these symbols are different from each other and what they mean. If an OER license is having BY with it, so BY means that the credit is essential. If you are using any content with BY license, you are bound to give the attribution to the original creator of the content. If only BY is there, if only CC BY is there, you are allowed to copy, you are allowed to distribute, you are allowed to display, you are allowed to tweak, you can do anything with it. The only condition is that copyright holder has asked you to use my content, to modify my content, to develop your own content using my content, but give credit to me as the original creator of the content. So that symbol is basically attribution or PBY. The second symbol which is being used in the Creative Commons licenses is share alike. Now this is a kind of restriction on the user. If a user is creating or developing some derivative work based on already available OERs with a certain license having SA as the part of license. So S means that the original creator has asked you to create and distribute the new content with the similar license conditions with which the original content was developed. So you cannot now change the license conditions. The license with which your content will be governed will be the same with which the original content was being governed, right. So that is the meaning of the second symbol called SA. The third symbol is NC. It is a bit more restrictive, because if an OER license is having NC symbol in it, where it is a cross dollar, you can see on the screen. So it allows other to copy, to distribute, to display, to use anywhere, but only for non-commercial purpose. They cannot publish it, they cannot sell it, they cannot earn money by using this content. They can use it for educational purpose, they can share it, they can distribute it, they can keep it with them, all freedom is there. The only thing is that they cannot use this content to earn anything, or they cannot use this content commercially. That is the meaning of third symbol in the Creative Commons licenses. The fourth symbol in the Creative Commons licenses is no derivative work, ND. This is the most restrictive symbol. When I am saying most restrictive symbol, I mean to say that if this symbol is there with any content, it means that the copyright holder has allowed the user to copy, to use, to redistribute, to display, but the new user cannot tweak it, cannot crop it, cannot bring any change in it. It should be used as it is. No new derivative work can be developed based on the original or previous work. So when we make the permutation and combination of these four symbols, we come out with 6 type of licenses. It starts with CC, means Creative Commons. It starts with B by. So if it is CC B by, you can see that in these 6 type of licenses are in the order of increasing restrictions. So the CC B by is the least restrictive license, and CC B by NC ND is the most restrictive license among all the Creative Commons licenses. Why it is important for a learner or for a teacher or a creator to know? Because when we use any OER by using AI content, we need to decide that whether any license can work on our content or not. Because the CC B by license, this is a license which is most free except CC 0. It allows the users to distribute, to remix, to tweak, to build upon, even distribute it commercially, as long as the credit has been given to the original creator. So the only requirement of this license is that the user should give the credit to the original author, original photographer, original video generator, original producer, whoever has created that content, but they can use it, right. So when we give the attribution, it depends where we are giving the attribution. So in different subjects, the methods of attributions are different, which are called citation methods, about which we are not talking today, but we all know that, for example, in education and psychology and many social sciences we use American Psychological Association style APA. In languages we use MLS style, there is Chicago style, there is Harvard style, there is for engineering and computer science IEEE style, and many such styles are there. So you may identify the style of your discipline and you can use it accordingly. The second license is CC B by SA. Now you can see that there are 2 symbols, B by and SA. So B by is for attribution and SA is for share alike. So only 2 expectations are from the user or the new creator, that the new content will be generated or used or remixed or adopted by using the original content with the two conditions. The first condition is that they should give the credit to the original creator, and second condition is that the license cannot be changed, it should be SA. Generally the Wikipedia content, it comes with CC BY SA license. The third license is CC BY NC. Now you can see that this, if we interpret these two symbols BY and NC, so BY means attribution is required and NC means no commercial use is required.
Yeah.
So you can use it, you can tweak it, you can derivate it, you can create your own content by using its part, you can even change the license condition of the new license, because SA is not there, but only two restrictions are there, that the original creator need to be acknowledged to the original creator, and it should be used only for non-commercial purpose. This is the meaning of CC BY NC. The next license is CC BY ND. Here BY means attribution is required, so you need to give the credit to the original creator. Wherever BY is written, you need to give the attribution of the original creator. But here ND means that the creator has asked you to use the content, even you can use it commercially because NC is not there, but you cannot tweak it, you cannot adapt, you cannot remix, you cannot crop something. You can use as it is along with the credit to the original creator. The next license is CC BY NC-SA. Now you can see that there are now three restrictions. BY, the credit need to be given. NC, you cannot earn money by using or distributing this content, so it should be used non-commercially, and you cannot change the license conditions because you need to share the new content with the similar license, that is similar share alike license. The last one is CC BY NC ND. This is the most restrictive among all the 6 licenses. Why? Because it is asking you to grip the attribution, it is asking you not to earn anything out of it, so non-commercial use, and you cannot remix it, you cannot tweak it, you cannot convert it, you cannot crop it, you can use it. It is simply for using, not for any other purpose. So these are the 6 type of licenses which are being used as Creative Commons licenses. Apart from these 6 licenses, if no license has been given, then we call such content as with the CC 0. CC 0 means no right reserved. It means that the creator has placed the content completely into the public domain. The creator is even not asking you to give the credit. The creator is not asking you to give any attribution. All others are free to build upon, to enhance, to reuse, to tweak, to convert, to remix, to redesign, to redistribute. Everything is allowed. It kinds of that you are losing or shedding your copyright. You are making it available to everyone in the public, or we call it no right reserved. So why this license is important? Because nowadays when AI generated content is in the market, and most of the time the AI generated content is purely generated by AI. Now the AI generated contents are of 2 types. There are certain contents which are being developed by the large language models or the AI applications based on certain prompts, which are totally AI generated contents. Like we generate images, we generate text. There are another kind of AI generated content where the input is being given by the individual. For example, many PowerPoint presentation maker like Gamma, like AI Maker, Presentation AI and all. There what we do, we give the content to the for example Gamma, and we ask Gamma that convert this content into meaningful colorful slides. So the content is being given by us, it is the human intervention. The PowerPoint, the designing has been done by an AI. So it is not purely AI generated content. So there are two types of content. That's why sometimes people want to have the restriction. So such people who use the human generated content to convert it into a AI generated content, they prefer CC BY license. Wherever whenever there is a content which is completely generated by a machine, that content is called CC 0 content, or that content should be used with CC 0 license. This matrix is very simple. What we have done, this matrix has been taken from a COL document, that what kind of license could be mixed with what kind of license to generate a new content. This matrix is very important for a content creator. For example, if I am going to generate a CC BY content, so I can mix my CC BY content into public domain content with the CC BY content, with the CC BY essay content, with the CC BY NC content, but we cannot mix my content with CC BY ND, because ND means no derivative is allowed. So that is why you see that wherever in the columns, for example into the 6th column horizontally, and similarly into the 6th and 8th column vertically, if you see that all crosses are there, there is no tick, because the NT content never allowed to be remixed or tweaked with any other content, because in these two licenses ND is there, that is why it is not allowed. Otherwise for other licenses it is allowed to be mixed. If you are creating an OER content, how you can license your content? This is very important, because there is no agency, there is no office where you can go and apply for a CC license and that office will charge a fee and give you a license. It is not like that. It is your decision that with which license you want to provide your content. So the best part is that you can go to the creativecommons.org/chooser. If you go to the website and you will click on this https://creativecommons.org.chooser, it will ask you certain questions. The first question is that do you know which license you need? If you know which license you need, it will ask you to fill the required details. If you do not know which license is appropriate to you, it is going to help you. That is why when you click on no, I do not know, it asks that what is about the attribution, yes or no, whether you are allowing the commercial use, yes or no, whether you will allow the derivative work, yes or no, whether it will be shared with a similar license, yes or no. So all the 4 types of symbols I have talked about, this application asks you to choose yes and no on all 4 domains. Then it takes some confirmations, and after these confirmations it generates a license, and the license comes like this based on the inputs given by us. We can copy it, we can share it, we can put it in our generated content, and we can publish it in the online form or in the hard copy, in whatever way we want to publish. When you will put all these details, it will also ask you the attribution details. If you are putting the attribution as a condition that yes, the BY should be there, then it will ask what should be the title of the work, who is the original creator of the work, link to the work, link to the creator's profile, and when it has been created. Now here comes the issue that if it is AI generated content, who is the creator of the work? You are not the creator of the work, you may have given some prompts. So then people write that okay, we are using it with a particular prompts. So if I summarize the whole discussion here, I could say that you cannot avoid AI in future for generating content. AI will be used for generating content. It is offering an immense potential for generating OER, because it is bringing multiple sources together on which it has been trained. I again put a simple example. 30 years back, when a researcher was doing a research, he or she was going to a library, exploring the catalogs, identifying 5 or 6 or 10 journals available in that library, writing the reference cards and using it in their research for the review and justification of the findings purpose. When internet come, when search engine came, that practice has stopped, because search engines have given the access to hundreds and thousands of the research papers and journals to a user, right? And that user has took the content from AI, took the content from the search engine, modified it, used it for their research. So what happened? The access has increased to the more content, but the user was identifying the content, putting it into a correct language. If he or she is not having that much good linguistic skills, they were struggling to write it into the proper words, right? What AI has done? AI has simplified that part now. That now AI is searching for you based on your inputs, based on your prompts, bringing it together, composing it, manufacturing it, and giving you a good meaningful output. But it is saying that I can be wrong, I could be wrong. If anyone is using ChatGPT, and you see at the bottom of the ChatGPT, it has been written that ChatGPT could be wrong. Please verify on your own.
Yes.
So the ChatGPT is not taking the ownership. Here is the challenge, that ChatGPT is not taking the ownership of the content which is being developed by ChatGPT. Now the creator is saying, I have not created, I have created from ChatGPT, so I am also not taking the responsibility. So this is the biggest challenge of the AI generated open educational resources, that who will take the credit, who should be attributed. No one is ready to take the ownership. That's why in most of the AI generated OERs, it is being suggested that if it is completely machine generated, it may go with CC0. If it is machine generated with significant human intervention, it can go with CC0 or it can go with CCBY. It all depends upon the creator or the human being who has given the inputs, that up to what degree he or she has given the inputs, and whether they want it to be attributed with their name or not. The ongoing dialogue is that still the legal and ethical frameworks are not finalized. For AI generated contents, what should be the ethical guidelines, what should be the legal framework, still discussion is going on. People are discussing, legal experts are discussing, educationists are discussing, forums like UNESCO, Commonwealth of Learning, CEMCA and all other organizations, they all are discussing. But still we have not come out with a very valid and very well accepted framework yet. So the solution is that a creator should be very much aware about AI generated, they should be AI aware, as well as they should be very much aware about the types of solutions and types of licenses, so that they can identify what is the best part of AI. So I must say that let us make our world an OER world and use AI applications as much as possible, judicially, ethically, and with the proper attribution. So I think this I want to present here. Now,
Right.
if there are certain questions, we can take.
Well, definitely, sir, we'll take up the questions. But first of all, I would like to thank you for delivering this wonderful presentation on licenses, emerging technologies and OER. So we have got certain questions from our viewers, and let me take those questions because they're very relevant, and I think it's high time that we learn and get aware, as you talked about OER and AI generated content. Now, so AI has become an integral part of content generation these days, as you have also mentioned. So I want to understand that what do you think there are, challenges, because we have licenses also, and still we need to have this content. So what kind of challenges do creators, educationists and students face while using this content?
The biggest challenge is the ethical use. Technology never say I am ethical or I am not ethical. It is the user who decides that whether they will use this technology ethically or not. So the ethics belongs to the user or the human being, not to the technology. Neither internet was saying I am ethical or not, nor Google was saying my use is ethical or not, nor AI applications are saying my use is ethical or not. We have seen in the recent past a lot of cyber crime issues are there, which are being, whether people are using voice cloning, people are using face swapping, deepfake and all other, these are unethical use.
Yes.
But these applications were not developed for unethical use. So the biggest challenge, for example, if a teacher is giving an assignment to the student to write, now a student is writing the whole assignment by using an AI application. So the student is not analyzing the content, they are not applying their understanding, they are neither their sentence completion or linguistic abilities will develop, they will just submit the assignment. That is unethical use. So the biggest challenge for a teacher is that teacher need to define what is ethical, what is not ethical, and how effectively a child or a learner can use AI applications to present their content in an effective and meaningful way.
And sir, don't you think that even creativity is being hampered, because entire creativity now lies in giving the right kind of prompts? There is no research happening. As you said earlier, we used to go to library and used to pick up journals.
No, I don't think that creativity hampers. Why I am saying this? That if you think an AI model is creative, who made that application creative?
Of course, human beings.
We have trained that. So as creatively we will train the application, the application will be more creative. So creativity just still belong to the human being.
Okay, so human beings are not getting replaced. Now, so in your presentation, you talked about teaching style, that a teacher, disseminates information or imparts knowledge in almost the same style. Whereas when we have learners of diverse categories with diverse learning styles. Now, I want to ask you, how can OER and emerging technologies be used to support personalized and adaptive learning?
All the AI applications, they are based on a technology called machine learning. The machine learning is basically a concept in which machine analyze the individual's choices based on the inputs, based on the explorations, based on the searches, based on the submissions made by an individual in an internet environment or online environment. So in a traditional classroom, a teacher creates a single kind of content, and they provide the similar content to all the students. They treat all the students equal, but they are not equal actually. Their level of intelligence are different. Their languages and linguistic abilities are different. Their level of understanding are different. Some may understand in a discussion of 10 minutes. Some may require rereading of a chapter after the discussion. Some require discussion, rereading and again discussion. Right? So now it is not possible for a teacher to do all these things. But AI applications can provide that, because AI applications, on the basis of the inputs given by the learner, identify that what is the level of the learner, and they generate the content as per their inputs. If I ask the same question to an AI application and you will ask the same question to an AI application, a third person will ask the same question to an AI application, the answers will be different, not same.
Right.
because the machine is analyzing
Yeah.
based on our inputs.
Yeah.
So that's why the term personalized and adaptive learning is emerging. As much as we will use the AI applications, the personalized and adaptive learning will increase and it will be more and more effective.
And now, sir, we're left with very little time, but there's one last question which is quite important. So I want to ask, what lessons do you think we can learn from existing OER and emerging technology projects, and how can they inform future initiatives?
OER is always the future because knowledge is not, should be kept into the boundaries or within the four walls of the libraries or, into the hard drives with logged profiles. In Indian knowledge system, it has been written Vyay krite vardhate ev nityam vidyadhanam sarvadhanam pradhanam. So even in our Indian traditions, we say that knowledge enhances when it is being distributed and shared. And open educational resources is doing the same.
Yeah, true.
Open educational resources are basically sharing the knowledge openly as much as possible.
Possible, yes.
So future belongs to that. I can give an example of a very good OER initiative these days happening across the world, that is called Open Science Initiative.
Okay.
Earlier, the scientific laboratories and scientific researchers and scientific equipments and models were restricted to a particular community or a particular laboratory or a particular organization. But now scientists are coming with a concept called Open Science Initiative, where they are ready to share their data with each other, where they are ready to share their equipments with each other, where they are ready to share their models and designs to each other, so that knowledge can grow. So the knowledge, as much as knowledge will be distributed, shared, it will grow. That is the future and power of open educational resources.
And the future indeed looks brighter.
Yeah.
Right. So, viewers, this was our discussion on day 2, where we talked about licenses, emerging technologies and OER under the umbrella theme of Open Educational Resources, OER, Innovating Education. And I must thank my expert for this wonderful contribution of his to the session. So, thank you so much for this detailed presentation.
Thank you.
It was lovely and of course very much eye-opening and really informative. So, viewers, as I said, we are wrapping up the session over here, but please make sure that you watch all our sessions very carefully if you wish to attempt the assessment. Now, I am going to share another important update with all of you. It's about the textbooks, which are now available on Amazon, Flipkart and NCERT website. I'm talking about grade 4 and grade 7 textbooks respectively. Now, let's take a look at the schedule, what's all coming ahead. So, we're through with our session of online training program. In a short while from now, you can watch our sessions here, where we will be talking about fostering curiosity for creativity. That's going to be the topic, and I request everybody to kindly participate in the sessions here. With this, it's a wrap. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you. Namaskar.